We're gonna take a quick outside tour of this building, built in 1913, so it's 101 years old this year. Even though that says 1913 up there, this says the drill hall was completed in 1915 by the Federal Department of Public Works. So the site was purchased by the city of Edmonton in 1912, then donated to the federal government. Building was transferred back to the city in 1983, so the city has owned it back as long as I've been alive, and restored in 92 to house the Edmonton City Archives, which are open during the weekday when everyone's at work, so I've never actually been inside the archives and look at it. There's the backside view of it, fully visible when you're taking the new Nate LRT line. Sorry, I mean the Metro line. Looks like a castle. Hi everyone, it is Good Shepherd Sunday, also known as Mother's Day this year. It was a great service at the Basilica this week. I'm here at the Armouries, where I think this is the only city-owned building that still flies the Union Jack. And I took a lot of notes this morning. It was a different priest that spoke today. I guess he used to be here 10 years ago. Here's something that he said. It's supposed to be a common saying. If you can't sleep, don't count the sheep, but speak to the shepherd. It's like, wow, that was deep. And he told us a story of this group of sheep ranchers, if that's what they're called. 3 or 4 ranchers with their own flock going in. And then in the morning when they called them, the sheep recognized the shepherd's voice and followed the shepherd back to their own pastures. You know, as believers, do we follow our shepherd's voice, or do we follow other voices? We got to really learn how to discern that, and that was really interesting to hear. Oh yes, and he of course went through Psalm 23, you know, the Lord is my shepherd, and there's a lot of good stuff in there that I never thought about now that I'm a Catholic, and that he mentioned mostly symbolism. But the pasture is abundant life, the water refreshes and kind of is our baptism and our rebirth. The dark valleys are the temptation and the demons in our lives. I don't really know the ending of Psalm 23, but there's a banquet, which is kind of like the Eucharist, anointing with oil, which happens at our baptism and confirmation. Yes, so the Lord really provides. And for Mother's Day, the Basilica gave out flowers, carnations, and roses to the mothers, and they also had them stand up and recognize them all and had a special blessing for them, which was really neat for a church of this magnitude. Okay, and then lastly, he shared a story of Pope Francis asking a few questions to some of his followers before he became a pope. He asked, how many of you saw somebody begging on the streets today? And pretty much almost everybody's hands raised up. How many of you gave a coin to those people? A few people's hands went up. How many of you spoke to a person that was begging? No one. And how many people touched those people? Nobody's hands went up. He was saying we have to respect the poor, and as our shepherd ourselves, the way that we've been called to be shepherds to the world, we are to smell like sheep, which is something that Pope Francis said. That was something very big, and I'm not really sure what Good Shepherd Sunday is. If you guys know, put some comments below, but I'll definitely be looking into that as well. It definitely is quite windy right now, so I don't know if you can hear me at all. Sorry if you hear distortions, and happy Mother's Day!